Hey everyone, welcome to this psychology lecture series. In this video, we are going to talk about Sufism. Sufism is the mystical branch of Islam, and the word Sufi comes from Suf, which is the Arabic for wool. That summarizes why Sufi wear wool. Most religions focus on the sacred text for the word of the God, but what Sufism seeks to do is develop a personal relationship between the believer and the divine. They believe in direct communion with God without any intermediate. They do whirling as a form of devotion to God. There are some Sufi who are not Muslim. They actually say that Sufism was there before Islam. Sufism is a form of mysticism. Mysticism claims that the way to know God is through experience. They say you don't know God through studying or reading. Muslim Sufi would claim that what is important is to do a lot of worship, that is prayers, fastings, and live simple life that is free from worldly trappings. Sufism is a spiritual dimension of Islam. Not even 5% of the total Muslim population are Sufis. However, not all Sufi orders adhere to the tradition of Islam and fall outside of the category of Islam. They believe that Sharia law should be the only ultimate goal of Muslims. Sufi whirling or Sufi turning is a form of physically active meditation which originated among Sufis. There are three central ideas in Sufi psychology. They are the nafs, the qalb, and the ruh. The nafs here mean the self, the qalb means the heart, and the ruh means the soul. Sufism teaches that the essence of this universe is spiritual. Sufism enables people to discover the higher or true self. The main belief of Sufism emphasizes on purity of heart. According to Frager, in Sufi psychology, the self or nafs is an aspect of the psyche that begins as our worst adversary that can develop into an invaluable tool. The nafs often craves for worldly desires and ignores the wisdom of the heart, which is the medium of transformation of the knowledge of the soul. They need spiritual guidance to awaken to its spiritual potential from the state of sleep like ignorance. The role of heart in overall process of psycho-spiritual transformation is cardinal. In Sufi practice, the initial goal is to open the seeker's heart. Once the spiritual heart is opened, the soul experiences wholeness and true individuality. In its origin, individual soul is part of the oversoul or God, yet it is not conscious of its identity with God. And Sufis have an open relationship with other religions. Sufi practice is best attained under the guidance of a learned teacher called Sheikh. Jalaluddin Rumi was a 13th century Persian poet, Islamic scholar, and Sufi mystic. Rumi has been described as the most popular poet and the best-selling poet in the US. Now let us take a look at some of the Sufi saints in India and their contribution. Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti introduced Chishti order in India, and he also popularized music recitations called Sama, and he was kept aloof from royal court. Sheikh Shihabuddin Suravardi accepted royal service and introduced Suravardi order in India, and he also wrote The Knowledge of the Spiritually Learned. Sheikh Nizamat Ullah preached the fundamentals of Islam and introduced Quadri order in India. Khwaja Pir Muhammad introduced Naqshbandi order in India, and the orthodox sect Mujahid opposed Shia philosophy of Wahadat ul-Sahadat and wrote Redi Khilafat. Sheikh Sarfuddin Yaha introduced the branch of Suravardi and popularized Firdausi order in India, and he was a disciple of Khwaja Nizamuddin Firdausi. Mian Biasit Ansari wrote the book Kai-ul-Bayan and introduced Rashaniya order during Akbar's reign. Mullah Muhammad Mahdi opposed Orthodox Muslims and introduced Mahadavi order in India. Nuruddin Nurani opposed Orthodox Muslims and introduced Risi order in India. Abu Wali Qalandar introduced Qalandariya order in India. and called wandering monks as dervishes. Abdullah Shatari introduced Shatari order in India during Lodi dynasty. Tanshin was the follower of this order and it claims direct contact with God. There are 7 stages of spiritual awakening according to Sufism. Let me explain you this with a short story. Once upon a time, there were thousands of birds who were eager to find a king for their kingdom. Keeping a great level of determination in their mind, they set out for the journey. On their way, they found 7 valleys, each having a different name and significance. When they began crossing the valleys, some birds died, some gave up, and some returned to their kingdom, and some made excuses. So only 30 birds made through the journey. At the end of the journey, they realized that the king they were looking for is a reflection of themselves. Eventually, they became fully aware of the fact that all of them are the part of a whole. This story is based on the belief that God is the totality of existence. He resides in us and we reside in Him. The 7 valleys as described in the story are Talab, which means search, and Ishq, which means love, Marifat, which means gnosis, Ishtigna, which means detachment, Tawheed, which means unity of God, Hayrat, which means bewilderment, and finally Fakr and Fana means selflessness and oblivion in God. This Sufi practice is best attained under the guidance of a learned teacher called Sheikh. I hope you find this video useful. Please share these videos with everyone who is preparing for this exam. Thank you.